Right, hello Martin. How are you doing?
How are you?
Thanks for speaking to us today. Now I believe you're retired from flying helicopters now. I believe.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to retire due to my age.
Yeah.
But I loved it so much I didn't want to stop. But there you go. That was just over a year ago now. But yeah, age doesn't come on its own, unfortunately.
And we're talking about the incident back in June 2008 today. But after the police, you became you were flying the air ambulance, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I flew the police helicopter for 20 years in South Wales. And then subsequently, because I was too old to fly the police helicopter as a single pilot at 60, I then fortunately got a job with an air ambulance, which is multi-pilot, and I did that for 5 years.
All right, very experienced.
I had to give that up at 65. Yeah.
So,
prior to the police, I flew in an army helicopter for 10 years, and at the beginning of my army career, I was an aircraft engineer on helicopters for 12 years. So
how many hours flying is that all together?
I finished with about 8,800 hours flying.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And all of that, majority of that on land, short legs, not like airline pilots who get 10 hours a trip. So all 8,800 hours of mostly good times.
All right. And this is a bit of a coup actually, because you've not actually been interviewed publicly by anybody, have you, about this incident?
No, not at all. As you said, in 2008, it happened, and we sort of put it to bed. People tried to speak to us, but nothing to be ashamed of. We just, due to the nature of our job and things at the time, we just didn't want to go any further public with it. We published our reports. The media made what they wanted of it, and that was it, really. Yeah. So this is the first time I've talked about it in public.
Well, I was telling Mike earlier, I vividly remember the article in the Sun newspaper at the time.
Yeah.
And
the Sun one about Chinese lanterns.
Well, they had a few explanations. Yeah, following your incident, there was something in the paper in the Sun for weeks saying what hotspot Wales was, and most of the sightings they were reporting then were actually Chinese lanterns, because at the time, 2008, 2009 was the peak for Chinese lanterns. It was terrible.
Yeah, they were prevalent, and they caused us as the police helicopter absolute chaos, because of course it's a naked flame flying through the sky.
Yeah,
which you want to avoid, and then generally from above it's difficult to see, and they're small anyway. So yeah, they were a massive pain.
And thankfully they've been banned now, haven't they? Because they were starting fires and danger to wildlife and all sorts of things.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And, so set the scene then, 8th of June 2008.
Yeah.
It's a date indelibly marked in my brain, that date is, because it's one of the most intriguing cases I think we've got on record in South Wales. Now, was it daytime or nighttime? Nighttime. So you were coming, it was at the end of a shift, wasn't it? And you were coming back into land at St. ATHAN.
Yeah. At the end of a police tasking sortie, yeah, not the end of a shift, the end of a police tasking sortie, yeah. Right. And I can't remember what that was. All I can remember, it was quite strange, really. That lots of things I've done in the police and the air ambulance, and this is the one that sticks in my mind most. I don't know why. It's just probably because it's a strange event. But yeah, we had just finished, obviously, police tasking somewhere in South Wales, returning back to St. ATHAN. So that was myself as a pilot. And two experienced police officers, one in the front left-hand seat, who was a very experienced police observer, very good on the camera. Now, the front seat, left seat police officer, he operated the optics, and that was his sole job, really, and navigation to the scene and the camera on the scene. So he's on the left-hand side of the aircraft, and on the right-hand side is the pilot in the front, and to the rear is another police officer who actually controls the scene from looking out the windows, operating the night sunlight, and speaking on the radios to liaise and coordinate with the guys on the ground. So most of the jobs on a police helicopter are out of the right-hand side, because there's two sets of eyes looking out of the windows. So the guy on the left looking at the camera doesn't need to look out the windows because he's looking at a TV screen.
Yeah.
So we came back from this tasking and approached St. Athan in the dark. The helipad is illuminated. Was it illuminated? Yeah, I think at that time, difficult to remember, it's so long ago. So anyway, we came back to a dark St. Athan. Possibly we illuminated the runway lights, but they're a long way away from us anyway. And we came back to the H circle, whether you're aware. It was a grass H, basically. And I remember, we used to put lights out to illuminate it so we could come back to it at night. So we came back to the grass H circle, myself and the two police officers, and then nothing untoward. We then came to the hover to taxi back to the aircraft apron dispersal to park the helicopter up. And as we came to the hover, we looked up and saw in the 11 o'clock two lights. Now, I can't remember now, this stage of the game, whether they were red and green or they were different coloured lights, or whether there was just two or more, but there appeared to be two lights in what appeared to be a translucent egg, and it was right on the edge of the rotor disc, which is quite relevant really, because it appeared to be really close to the rotor disc. Now we obviously know what it was. We came to the hover, and I seem to remember at the time we all exclaimed at the same time, "What is that?" And we just sat there for a little while and monitored it, and it moved off around to our left on the perimeter of the disc while we were sat there in the hover, and it moved off towards the police accommodation, or the police buildings in our 7-8 o'clock. And I think we looked at each other, I'm not too sure, and so it was probably going towards the police buildings, and we basically just we took off again. And I can't remember what the words were, but we took off anyway, obviously all in agreement, and followed this luminous thing with lights in it. But we kept it on the left-hand side of the aircraft, because it was on the left-hand side of the aircraft. If you turn right, you actually lose sight of anything on the left-hand side of the aircraft.
Yeah. So
we actually turned left and looked at it through the left-hand side of the aircraft, and probably the cameraman did at the same time as well. And we watched it go towards the police accommodation building. So we carried on taking off, and we turned left to keep this thing visual all the time. And it carried on towards the police buildings, just over roof height really, and we followed it, keeping it on the left-hand side. But I think at this stage we climbed up to a reasonable height, probably 500 feet above the ground, I think. And at this stage of the game, we did a quick right shimmy, losing sight of it for a small period of time, but we quickly regained sight of it, but keeping it on the right-hand side of the aircraft, so the two on the right of the aircraft could watch it, and which we did from above. And this thing continued moving towards the police buildings. They're only 100 to 200 yards away from where we landed in the helicopter, and we monitored it, and it flew towards the police buildings reasonably slowly, and then it moved off towards a farm, which was then further to the direction I can't really say really. Our building seemed to be downwind, because a lot of people's theory was, it was a balloon, but it initially did appear to be downwind, but then it transitioned forward to this farm complex, which was towards the wind or across the wind, and it was definitely a positive direction change, and went towards the farm. And when it got towards the farm, with us still monitoring it, I think I said to him, "Oh, that flipping farmer, he's got a drone. It's a farmer's drone," because it seemed to be approaching into his courtyard. But then it didn't, it carried on going and then turned back again towards Aberthorpe Power Station, which, well, that's probably about 3 miles away, but in that general direction. Nothing much in between the two. And we carried on monitoring it slowly, and the guy on the camera, he was trying to get it visual on the camera, and he couldn't, no matter what he tried, visual, thermal, he just couldn't pick it up at all. Even though he could look at, he could see where it was, but couldn't pick it up. So what we did is it carried on towards the Aberthorpe Power Station. Now we were still at about 500 feet. It was probably 2 stories high, I would imagine, this sort of time. Travelling reasonably slowly, fast walking pace, a little bit faster, and we just carried on monitoring, trying to pick something up so we could identify what it was. We wanted to know as well, and there was a road crossing, or its flight path took it over the main St Athan road to Lantwick Major, and there was a car coming up the road, and I remember I said to the camera operator, right, if you stay on the road or follow the car up the road, and I will tell you when this object is going over it. And as it happened, the car and the object went over the road at roughly the same time. So he followed the car. I think he followed the car or sat on the road, and then when the car passed, I said now, and he could not pick anything up on either the optical camera or the thermal imaging camera. There was nothing to be seen.
He could pick the car up, could he?
He picked the car. Oh yeah, absolutely. Picked the car up dead easily, but he couldn't pick up anything else. Right. And this guy was very experienced on the camera. If it would, you could have picked up we could pick up cigarettes being smoked from 5 miles away and things like that. So you have to be pretty good with the camera. Because you have to set the focus and the distance and things like that, and you keep changing it. But you can do that when you know what you're doing. You can do that pretty quickly, so you can scan the distances pretty quickly. But yeah, so he never managed to get it at all on any, and he never managed to get it recorded or even seen on the camera. So
it's quite a good reference mark of the fact the car was there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That really helped. The car came past, saw the car, but didn't see the object, whatever it was. So then. I think for some reason, we carried on a little bit further, and then I think I don't know what reason, I think it was we looked inside, possibly looking at the camera to help him or something, and when we looked back, it had gone. So there was no explanation. So yeah, there was no explanation as to where it had gone or anything, and we couldn't see it. We looked, and it was nowhere to be seen. So we were going to carry on down towards the power station, but we were actually running out of fuel at this stage, so we had to go back and land at the St Athan. Not that we were far away, but we had minimum fuels and things like that, so we had to go back and land. We reported to air traffic control, one, because we have to, and secondly because so it wasn't a danger to anybody else. If it was an object that was physical, then it could have caused damage to an airliner or something like that. But we reported it to ATC and then went through the process. Landed back, St Athan, talked about it, and that was it basically. It's a UFO. And then all the media and the locals had a go about Chinese lanterns and all sorts of things and balloons, but it was none of that. Had direction. It moved direction. It didn't just drift downwind. It actually moved into wind and actually had directional control.
So when I spoke to you before, years ago, I was under the impression you said it was just in front of the cockpit window.
It was. Well, it was on the rotor disc, edge of the rotor disc. Now, for any drone, you can't sit there because there's downwash. Yeah. Nothing would come under, and the edge of the rotor disc is only 2 meters away. But nothing could sit on the edge of the rotor disc because the downwash would blow it away. And even
so it was below the rotor disc, was it, or outside?
Just outside of it. But the downwash recirculates. So when you actually sat in the hover, the downwash goes down and then goes out. Beyond the complete distance of the helicopter, but twice the distance of the helicopter. So anything within that downwash would just get blown away. It's totally unstable air. And even in this day and age, a drone sat in that area would not be stable like that, like those lights were. So
when you first saw it, you were actually hovering, yeah?
Yeah, we'd just come to the hover. We were just about to taxi back into the to the dispersal where we to land and refuel.
Yeah. So you said it was at 11 o'clock position.
Yes.
Above or below the rotor disc?
Well, probably level with it, really.
Level with it, right.
What I can remember, or very possibly slightly below, because the road just isn't that much above. Probably below, actually, slightly below the tip path. But
it was just a few feet in front of you then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 2 meters, 2 meters in front of us, 2.5 meters in front of us.
And can you describe in more detail what it looked like and what size it was?
There wasn't much to see really. We could just see. I'm sure we could just see lights in it, and I think they were red and green. I'm not too sure which coincides with navigation lights, but I don't know if they were in the right orientation. Not too sure. It might not have been red and green lights. But all we could see was these lights, and they were in some sort of translucent egg skin, which was about 1 meter diameter and about 30 centimeters or a foot wide, basically, an egg in that sort of thing. And that's what we saw from above as well. From above, we could see this translucent round bubble or egg, So that's what we saw all the time.
Right. I remember you telling me before that it was a bubble, which I was picturing then like spherical, but you said it was more egg shape.
Well, a typical flying saucer shape. Yeah. So not a round bubble, like a squashed bubble.
Right.
So it wasn't like a balloon. It wasn't like a balloon shape. It was it's more like an oval really. From what I can recall, it was more like an oval.
Egg shaped.
Yeah, like a rugby ball maybe. Or,
yeah. Probably because it was in Wales.
And you said it was about 3 feet across by.
Like 1 foot deep.
Right, so it was quite like a flattened egg or rugby ball. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Quite.
I'm glad you clarified that because I previously reported it as a bubble, so just as well we clarified that.
No. It wasn't a bubble, and that was another thing against the Chinese lanterns.
These red and green lights were they flashing?
Not that I can recall, and I can't really recall whether they were red and green. I tried to find my aviation authority statement the other day, but I couldn't find it. So to try to refresh my memory, knowing this was coming up, but I couldn't, unfortunately. At this stage, I can't remember. I don't think they were flashing. From what I recall, I think they were just steady. Nothing like what's the program with all the flashing lights on the spaceship?
Close Encounters.
That's the one. Yeah. The really good Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah. Nothing like that.
So obviously it was too small for anybody to be inside it. But what do you think it was?
Unless they're really small, we don't know.
Unless they were small, yeah.
We don't even know to this day what it was. It was a UFO, unidentified flying object, which is what the initials stand for.
And it was suggested to you at the time or afterwards that really what you saw was a drone.
Yeah.
Do you think a drone could have withstood the downwash?
No, we discounted that because I think even in this day and age with the improved electronics and things like that, the stability from where its position is, it wouldn't have been as stable as it was. It was literally rock solid in where it was, and we're in a wobbly gyroscope, but it was rock solid and moved away with intent and purpose, basically, under control.
And I think you said earlier before that it was translucent.
Yeah, with a little bit of a shine on it. Yeah. So
there was a definite surface to it.
Yes, absolutely, and that was the same from above. Really, it did. And if somebody was going to build a drone, they wouldn't build a drone in a translucent bubble.
No.
It'd have purpose, and like nowadays, it'd have 4 arms on it. You could easily pick up on a thermal imaging and an optical camera, really, or certainly a thermal imaging camera.
Well, I think 2008 drones weren't that common either, were they?
No, exactly. If at all. Maybe the military had them, but I don't suppose the technology. There was certainly not the technology in that sort of size for the stability that it had. It was suggested to us, but we discounted it. We don't know what it was, but at the end of the day, we don't know what it was. And we knew about drones. Well, potentially knew about drones. We knew about Chinese lanterns and balloons, and it was nothing like that at all.
Yeah, and I think you told me before that it was somebody in the control tower in Cardiff Airport that leaked it to the press.
Potentially, yes. We're not too sure. We're not too sure who did leak it to the press. It certainly wasn't us.
Yeah.
I think I said before that. After the event, Discovery tried to come and interview us. But I do think I think that once they did a program looking over the fence, because obviously it was a military establishment, they weren't allowed to come access.
Yeah. So it must have been somebody in the airport because nobody else knew about it, did they? Apart from you, the police.
It was just us. Yeah, no, we certainly didn't leak it. It might have been the tower at St ATHAN, but I doubt it. But it probably was ATC at Cardiff. They were the only people that knew. But again, they had to report it as well because we reported it to them. They then have to do their own report as well. So, and all those reports go to the Civil Aviation Authority, the CAA.
Yeah, fascinating, huh?
And
afterwards,
even to this day.
Sorry?
It's fascinating even to this day. You still don't know what it was.
So afterwards, did you get much stick from colleagues in work?
No, not at all. No, there was. If I'd seen it on my own, then possibly. But because there was myself and 2 other police officers, all serious about it, then no stick whatsoever.
It's such a shame that it didn't show on the camera because it could have been videoed, couldn't it?
Could have made a fortune.
Because a few years, I think it was about
2016.
2016, there was some footage taken from a helicopter over near St Athan over the Bristol Channel of an object.
And that was by the...
And that was released.
NPAS.
Yeah, but it depends. What was the object though? That's the thing. So, but that's the intriguing thing is we couldn't do it, and that remains the intrigue. That we could not capture it on a really good optical system that you can see a cigarette from 5 miles away on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The technology or whatever that was part of it just did not make it visible at all. So no ridicule from anybody, and it's something that we remember.
A battery-operated drone that would give off a heat signature, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and there'd be mass to it as well. You'd pick up on a thermal imager really easily.
Yeah.
Even the lights couldn't be seen, or optical or thermal.
Wow.
Even the lights they were whatever they were, but they couldn't be picked up. LEDs nowadays, you don't pick them up. They're very low heat. LEDs difficult to detect on thermal imagers.
Yeah.
And night vision goggles, but that technology was really young in them sort of days.
Yeah. It's come on in more the last 10 years. LEDs, isn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
8 to 10 years.
Yeah, they're a pain because they put all these new anti-navigation lights, anti-collision lights on buildings and things like that, the masts, and they make them LEDs, and you can't actually see them if you're using a night vision system. You can see them, but it takes a lot longer to acquire them rather than previously when they were bulbs. You stood a mile on an imaging system, either self-warned on your head as night vision goggles or on a camera system. But new LEDs, save power, but got to be aware.
A few days later, when it appeared in the Sun newspaper, what were your thoughts on that? I suppose it was quite amusing. Was that seeing this big picture of a flying saucer?
Yeah, absolutely. but that's what people do, don't they? You know, in our job, in the nature of our job, we couldn't comment.
Yeah.
It's just 'cause it was reported as a UFO, which is what it was. It was unidentified, and of course the media blow it out of all proportion. Then, don't they?
It's a flying saucer.
The picture that they had, which I'm going to put up to advertise this show, because I've still got the copy of the Sun. And
they want to sell papers, don't they?
This flying saucer was like twice the size of the helicopter.
Yeah.
And they said that you chased it across the channel, but you had to turn back as it was short of fuel.
Oh right, yeah. No,
And,
we did chase it across the channel. We followed it a little bit, but as I said to you before, suddenly we looked up and it had gone. So where it went to, we do not know. But
yeah, because you say you look back to see the officer with the television screen, isn't it? And then when you look back, it was what position was the helicopter when that happened? Can you remember?
No,
was it actually over the coast?
No. We'd only just gone past the road.
Right.
We'd just gone past the road, just picked him up on the road. I think we were probably standing down. I think we were possibly. No, I don't know. Don't know where we were, but at some stage, it would have been in hour 3 o'clock for the visual requirement, and it would have been in the 3 o'clock, and then we looked in, and it disappeared off. Now we may have been looking at pointing at the power station. So,
and what position was the power station to you?
Sorry?
What position was the power station to you?
I can't remember where it was. I don't know. We could have been facing it. We could have been facing away. I can't remember. But I think we were probably facing it because we were tracking this thing in that direction.
Because I know with Aberthaw Beach, between the roads, there's some fields, and then you got the beach with those tank traps along the beach.
Yeah.
And then the power station's to the left. If
And
that's the position where you are.
Sort of headed in that direction.
Yeah.
So, which is what West Aberthaw, I think it is, isn't it? And the boys' village, that sort of thing.
Oh, the village, the village is east of the power station, isn't it? And they got the cement works as well.
The cement works, but it was the power station, coastal side of the power station. It was heading towards. That's the direction it was sort of heading when we. So we were probably facing that way because we were tracking it, and looked inside, and then looked up and was it gone? Probably then did a couple of orbits trying to reacquire it, and then said, "Oh well, it's gone." And then couldn't chase anymore because we were low on fuel then.
Yeah.
Well, I should say couldn't chase it. We couldn't follow it. We never chased it. We just followed it.
And in all the years you've been a helicopter pilot, did you have any other sort of unexplained sightings?
No, absolutely not. This is the one and only time in all my hours of flying that I've had anything like this at all.
It's a very rare occurrence. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Reported or otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nothing whatsoever. So, yeah.
Right, well...
Plenty of opportunity, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah. And do you miss the flying?
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, best hobby I've ever had that I've been paid for. No, it's really good, really satisfying. It's a fantastic job. You know, as a job, it's just superb. You know, it's difficult sometimes. Sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's very difficult. You have to make big decisions for the safety of the aircraft and the crew, and to get the job done. You have to bring it all into context, basically. So but no, I loved it, and I was disappointed that I had to stop flying because of my age. Just because I was 65, I was technically qualified, medically qualified. I was just 65 and had to stop flying. So there we are.
The two police officers which were members of the crew, were you regularly with them, or was it because the shift patterns, it would have been different people? Did you know them well?
Oh, absolutely. I knew them very well. Yeah. It's a very small team anyway.
Are you still in touch with them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, unfortunately, one has since passed recently.
Oh, right.
And the other guy, he's still alive. And I communicated with him the other day actually on Facebook. So yeah, and they all had it. We only had a team of about 8 or 12. That was all there was. We flew with everybody regularly, really.
Well-
but not all the time. But not all the time as well. Though, so you changed all the time. So you never got complacent or in that sort of scenario. You changed around. So and they changed around as well. So
Yeah.
and I think it still happens today. That you fly and they every couple of months they swap over to fly with a different person, so you don't get into bad habits.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you got any questions, Mike?
No.
Huh?
I can't think of any.
Apart from wow.
You're the one with the questions.
No, you got to, before we bring the interview to a close, you should
the
ask
only
you.
one I was going to ask was mentioned was one in 2016, but we've already chatted about that.
That's the point. Yeah, Martin, are you familiar with the one in 2016?
Not really. Was it a police helicopter?
Yes, yeah.
No, I'm not. Not that I can recall.
And it was video footage taken. I think it was thermal, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was
Over-
big circular,
Over the Bristol Channel
looked like a bowling ball, but it was quite big and
with a line across it.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But,
So I was going to ask you if you knew the pilot of that when that happened. Maybe.
I can't recall it at all.
Yeah, no, it might not. He might have left by then. See, so
2016.
But no, I was still. When did I go? 1999 I left. No, yeah. 99, only 5 years ago. 2020 I left.
2020. Right.
Yeah.
Then you became a air ambulance pilot then
That's correct. Yeah.
for a few years.
that must be the other pilots that were.
Best job I ever had.
Yeah. Well, it's been fantastic talking to you. Thank you very much for that. So it's recorded for posterity, no? It's great.
Yeah, there we are. Good.
And,
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah. And look forward to Roy's book.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we've referred you to Roy Teague, who has been on the show, and he was in Swansea last month to give us a talk at one of our meetings, and he's writing his second book. So you're going to be in that, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, nice guy, Roy was.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Martin. We leave you in peace now.
Okay, yeah, no problem. No, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad you tied me down eventually. Busy lives and all that sort of thing. But yeah, no, it's certainly something that sticks in my mind, and yeah, it doesn't leave. There's lots of things going on in my life, and I can't remember them. But this thing I can remember. The relevant details of. So yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay, good. Lovely.
Very much
Nice to
obliged.
speak to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
All the best.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers. Ta-ra, guys. Bye.